punk. You got me.
Are you going to make the heating up joke every time?
Woo! Call me Sean Paul.
What's
What?
under there? What's under there?
Nothing is
what
under
did you
your
get?
head. Just
What did you get? What is that? Why you refuse to unbutton your vest? What is it? I just won $787 million. A Monopoly Go addict? Yes.
All right, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
I am too. Just getting a few rolls in.
Pumpkin, you're literally playing.
I'm closing it.
You're truly transformed into my iPad baby.
Yeah, I am. No, I was literally talking to my best friend about that the other day, that like I am baby. Like in our relationships.
Yeah.
It's really annoying to have somebody try to like usurp your spot as baby.
Who's usurping your spot?
Well, she was struggling with it because they have a new potential partner in the polycule who's like also that way, and so I was just validating that, like, yes, I also feel that way. And
that
like,
could be also for other reasons, though.
Anyways, don't spill people's tea in the pod.
You started it.
I was just talking about myself.
Okay, fine, fair.
Anyways, hi. Thanks for
Welcome.
coming. Thanks for your patience, y'all, because it's been a hot minute since we sat down and did this.
Thank you for letting us take a break. Letting us. Well, we needed to take a break, but also thanks for being cool about it. Your support has been honestly really fucking uplifting, and we are so excited to get started again.
Yeah, y'all have left us the most like wonderful and kind comments.
Seriously.
I know, obviously, like in the back of my mind when I post stuff like on the community tab about like, hey, we're gonna miss an episode or whatever, that I'm like, it'll be fine. Like, no one's going to be mad at me, right? But then, like, to see people be like, it's literally fine. Like, it's not that people don't care, but they're just like, we don't care. Like, take care of yourself. Like, that's what matters, you know? So thank you guys for all of your comments and, like, encouragement. It's been really helpful as a person who struggles to, like, idle or like downshift.
You struggle to idle?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
With like work and stuff.
That's fair.
I'm like lazy in the sense that I love being a little couch potato, and like, also to be clear, I've seen some people leave comments about how laziness doesn't exist, and like, yes, full agree, but also for my own self, I just have like reclaimed the term lazy because it was like weaponized against me as a child.
Yeah,
so when I call myself lazy, I'm saying it in like a loving way, that like I love to laze, and I think that's
so interesting to me too, though, because you always did everything you were asked to do or told to do or like needed to do. Like, you never. Granted, you get stuff done at the last minute,
but I did it.
But it did technically
and
get done.
Also, I still got really good grades. Like, I never like half-assed anything.
Yeah. Also, it makes so much more sense now, looking back on it too, because you were just doing things that neurotypical people were not doing.
Yes.
So of course, everything.
Yes.
Like, also some of the greatest. Like, if you want to learn, I can't remember who said this or like if this is actually a saying or not.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to learn how to do something efficiently, find like the laziest person to do the job.
Yes.
And then they'll like figure out the like best way to like cut all the corners and like make it as efficient as possible, and like
work smarter, not harder.
It's so true. Also, we are back, and I am like buzzing with so many. I have like 16 cold opens in my head that I want to say.
You have a bunch of stuff.
First of all,
what?
I'm gonna rattle off my first one. If you want to know what I smell like, my best bud's been hooking me up with Bed Bath & Body Works.
Yeah.
And I smell like classic flannel right now, and I smell like if you could just sit inside the dryer.
Yeah.
And like.
But
we don't
like,
use dryer sheets, but like
if you sat inside the dryer with like sexy man clothes
and like and lumberjack, like. I think I smell like with that guy who cuts the wood, the really hot guy
Bradley
on TikTok.
Thor.
Oh my god.
Yes. You smell like what I imagine Bradley Thor smells like fresh out of the shower,
and I
love that for me.
No, I feel like he smells like his sweat probably smells like that, no doubt. No doubt in my mind that's what his sweat smells like.
That man oozes sex.
Second thing we need to address, I have been ever since watching Breaking Bad, I'm like, washing machines. Car washes are clearly all money laundering schemes.
Here we go.
Seriously, there are so many car washes. But like when you start a business, you're supposed to do like a competitive, like based off the thing. But like they're literally building a brand new car wash literally within walking distance, not even driving distance, within walking distance of each other. Go ahead.
Question.
Yes.
How do you know that?
How do I know what?
How do you know? Is that a thing? How do you know about
when you start a business? It's like part of the business plan. Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I've started businesses before.
Did we do that for this one?
No, but I've done it like you're practicing it. This is different. This is the online space. This is the Wild West.
I was like, I don't think we did that.
No, you don't have to do that for I mean, like, it is a good idea if you're starting something to look how saturated or not saturated the market is.
Okay.
Yes, but anyways, all I'm saying is, how can you build two car washes next to each other? And also, like, they're
because
just
who cares?
I understand, like, they're probably cheap, but like, who also Like it's fine if you go to car washes, but they're not technically good for your paint for your car because they're very abrasive. They're rough. They can carry contaminants that can get little micro scratches. I know most people don't give a shit about their car paint that much and your clear coat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
you're
anyways,
a car person.
it just doesn't make sense. Why would you need to build them right next to each other?
Because first of all, I think if they're okay, here's the thing. This is what Aaron's talking about. The Costco that we go to has a car wash like in the same parking lot.
Yes.
Right. And that's like relatively new also, which was also what ground
within the last year.
Your gears.
Yeah.
About this whole thing, because just east of that, like maybe a half mile, they just broke ground to build a new one. And so we were driving to Costco and Aaron saw this and like had an actual full meltdown in the car about how angry we were.
There's just no.
But hold on.
Okay.
I'm not done. I think the thing is that because the one is in the parking lot at Costco.
Okay.
In theory, the thought is that it's meant to capture the people who are like going to Costco, getting gas. I'll just get a car wash, right? Like that's a thing. You know how like Shell will like you can buy a car wash at the gas pump, right? So I think that's like part of the rationale there. But the other one is like outside of Costco, so it's like not associated with Costco. So that's meant to capture like street traffic, not the people who are going to Costco. So like I don't disagree with you that it's stupid that they're that close together, but I do think that their demographics are different. I do.
I hear what you're saying, and I hear it so clearly, but like something
you
cool.
Still hate it.
So the thing I hate about it, to boil it down, is like something cool. Like at another spot, they build a Whataburger. Fine, it's fine, but like, can we get something different, please?
You are gonna anger the internet because people have really strong feelings.
No,
about
I'm not saying Whataburger is bad, to be clear, but
I've
like,
actually never been there.
It's fine.
I heard that you can get a big pack of cinnamon rolls at Whataburger though, so
I didn't know that. Like the old ones.
I'm reserving that for the
Burger King's breakfast used to be on point when we were kids. Do you remember that? The little Cinny Sticks?
Cinny Minis were so good.
Who had the sticks? Someone had the sticks. Someone had cinnamon sticks or like French toast sticks.
Oh, that's Sonic.
Oh, damn.
The French toast sticks from Sonic were really, really good. But the Cinny Minis was like if somebody rolled up like a soft pie crust and put cinnamon and brown sugar and then this like delicious icing on top of them.
Oh my God.
And like granted now they sell like actual Cinnabon cinnamon rolls.
Not the same.
But they're not as good.
It's not the same.
It's not as good.
It's the nostalgia kicking in too for us, I think.
Yeah,
also,
I think that's what it is. I'm also curious if we had them now, if we would still like them. Because I think as kids we were like, wow, because it's mostly just like lots of sugar. But like as an adult with like a real palate, I'm curious if we.
I will say our trip to Fazoli's hit the fucking spot. I remember that tasted just like I will literally drive back to California to have this again.
We got invited to a friend of mine from college, her wedding. And literally the very first thing that we did, because we were like, oh, of course we're going to go. I want to like be there and support her and whatever. And we looked up immediately
Fazoli's,
where the closest Fazoli's was because we knew we were going to drive because it's not that
It's
far.
Italian fast food.
It's so good. If
it's so good.
If you don't know what Fazoli's is, it's basically the only place that you can get Alfredo here in the United States anyways, through a drive-through.
As far as I know.
It's like if Taco Bell made Italian food.
Exactly.
Kind
exactly
of.
the same.
It's so good. It's like just salty, delicious.
The breadsticks.
Oh, so
we ordered
good.
way too much food.
Yes, there's also like 3,000 fucking things on the menu, but it's delicious and I would drive back in a heartbeat.
Oh, same. Also, I can't wait to get into it too, but like we have the sad beige everything. We had to watch so much. We've watched so many home renovation shows. You have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did a week at home. I don't know how you did.
It's depressing. It's like, we'll talk about it in the update, which by the way, thank you for all of your well wishes. Me and my boobies are doing okay.
Almost done. Not there yet.
Yeah, we're like close. I'm like just about 6 weeks post up.
Can I get an arm check?
Hold on, let me see.
Don't push it, but
like there.
All right, we can almost get those hands up in the air.
Yeah, and I can sort of do my own hair if I like really stretch for it, which does kind of
I've gotten very good at hair. I loved hair before. I think hair is like one of the most.
Is hair your love language now?
No, but like I love a good head with some hair, you know.
Yeah, you do like when people have nice hair.
People
who maintain their hair well is like a green flag.
Oh, definitely.
But anyways, what I was saying is that we're going to talk about it on an update episode of the pod. I just don't think we're there yet.
I feel like you haven't got to experience.
Yeah, there's lots of updates that I have about healing and all of that, but I don't really know what it looks like to just live my life with my new boobs because I still can't do anything.
Sure, so far have been fun though. That's at least been like little breadcrumbing you getting to the end of the finish line of healing.
Yeah, trying new clothes on or trying old clothes on, I guess, and seeing how they fit now.
All right, speaking of old clothes, let's put something on that's should feel pretty comfortable to this channel.
That was the most unhinged and unrelated.
I have been on it lately. We've been watching this movie. Oh, it's with the kids and they cast spells. And then there's a guy with the weird nose.
Don't
What's
be this
help
way.
me, help me. What's the name of these movies?
We all know what you're talking about, and I refuse to play into this bit.
It has been so fun to watch the Harry Potter series again, though. This because we decided
we ran out of fucking things to watch.
Yeah. Also, this series of Married at First Sight, or this season we watched.
Rough.
Holy fuck. I think Paige and Chris might need to get a reacts episode on this channel.
Yeah, we might talk about that. Okay, we're rabbit trailing. We need to focus
me in.
So we're going to talk about something that Bethany Beal recently launched. Back in the day, those of you who are patrons and have been patrons for a while will remember when we had our first iteration of the pod on Patreon. It was a Patreon exclusive. We did an episode where you and I answered some of the questions off of Girl Defines, like first date questionnaire. It was like 136
we had a
questions.
Good time.
Yeah, it was a lot. We didn't answer all of them, to be clear, but I thought it was really funny and just like,
that still exists on the Patreon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still on the Patreon if you want to go listen to it. But we wanted to talk about this new thing that Bethany released.
Mickey started reading some of it, and she almost spoiled it
I
in the car.
I only read like 2 questions.
I don't know what I'm walking into. Like, are these questions? Like,
let me explain. She launched. This is a thing that she does. This is one of her grifts where she launches what she calls ebooks. It's a PDF.
Girl boss in her way to
whatever.
Girl boss.
No shade. I know that ebooks are a legitimate thing, but it bothers me.
Well, it's the fact that I think she sells them because she's like doing the girl boss thing, and then these are the products she's selling.
But also, if it's a PDF, just call it a PDF. Like, it's fine.
It's a download. Like, it's a
yes. Anyways, but she launches these things that are different, like questionnaires and guides and like
totally
short little guides and stuff like that.
They should be like short stories or guide. Yeah, like anything. Call it anything but a book.
Yeah, but she launches these things, worksheets and workbooks and what have you, as part of her like grift to make money as like a stay-at-home mom who doesn't have a job, but I also have a job and I'm on Instagram all the time and like all I do is work.
But also she's so successful that she also is selling her courses to other people.
Yes, it's like a whole thing. So
it's a whole thing.
One of the first ones that Girl Defined as like a group released was that 136 questions to ask your boyfriend or partner or whatever. But because Bethany is in her sexy sex era, she released a PDF that is called Sex Conversations, 100 questions to guide Christian couples towards deeper intimacy.
I want to be deeper and intimate. Not Christian, but I hope.
We talked about this at the time we were recording this week. We talked on the main channel about Nate and Sutton and their really forced and coercive intimacy thing.
Well, and it's like a weird, like everything's an interview.
Yes.
Why is everything an interview?
I don't know. Somebody in the comments said that they grew up in like a fundy or fundy adjacent sort of
like
situation. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that this sort of forced intimacy in the questionnaire thing was very common in like youth group, and it was like a thing that they did with each other. So I wonder if it's like a Christian cultural thing.
I'm wondering too, because like there was that weird thing that we used to not weird thing, but like remember in marching band.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I already knew you knew what I was talking about.
That's why I knew what the cry night was for evangelical Christian people, because I was like, we did that, but with marching band.
Not right. Not
There's
normal,
an adult
not
man
healthy.
who locked a bunch of teenagers in a dark room with candles and made us tell each other our deepest traumas and cry.
Yeah.
With no parents.
Yeah.
Parents weren't allowed.
Looking back on that now, no
Hello?
wonder. Yeah. Red flags.
The fuck? Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, so that's what's happening today. We're going to walk through or talk through some of these questions.
I would love to.
We're not going to do all 100 because I think that's like a little gratuitous.
Unless we could just fucking have a ding, ding.
No, literally. But there's some in here that are pretty fucking weird. So
I can't wait to get it. Also, announcement real quick.
Yeah.
We have beat Baldur's Gate. I just wanted to put it.
I know we did do it.
We finally did it.
I don't know how to feel.
984 saves.
Yeah.
And it was like 94 and like 47 minutes of playtime. 94 hours.
Oh, I was
94 hours
I was like,
and 47 minutes.
What? We did not finish that game in 47 minutes.
No, we did not.
Can you imagine trying to do a speed run of this game?
It's not really built for, like, I guess you could, but like.
Well, but people do. Like, people do speed runs of everything.
That's fair.
Okay. Are we ready to get into these questions?
I would love to get into these questions.
I think for me, my ideal format is just switching back and forth.
Okay. I would love to do
So
that
we'll just
then.
hand my phone back and forth.
All right. Hopefully it heats up in here, you know?
I'm going to ask a question and I think we should both answer it personally. Also, to be clear, we might not reveal super deep details about our sex life because personally I think that's a little weird.
I think it's the thing too when you talk about it so much. And it's like also give it like
Yeah.
This also the thing we talk about, the delayed adolescence.
Yes.
With fundamentalism.
Yes.
Like this just feels like, I feel like we're just now getting into high school.
Yes.
So I'm hoping this is a phase that will pass.
We'll see.
Or not.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
There's 2 questions back to back that I'm like torn between, and I don't know which one I want to ask you first, because one like doesn't really have an answer.
You want to pick a hand?
Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
It's 32.
Okay, great.
I don't know why I held it like this, as though there's like a little secret, like I'm gonna do some magic on you or something.
Would you be willing to incorporate mirrors into our lovemaking?
Oh, I mean, I think mirrors are a wonderful
Yeah.
addition.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we need to incorporate them. Like,
Yeah.
we have mirrors in the bedroom
we just
already.
have mirrors.
I mean, like if we're at a hotel or something, like it's like
Sure.
appreciated.
The thing that makes me laugh about this is that it seems like the mirrors on the ceiling thing.
Yeah,
You know, like
what does it
sex
mean?
hotels?
What do you mean, like incorporate? Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you want to like nutsack on fucking like
A hand mirror?
Yeah, like do we need like we're doing a what's
Like when
when
somebody's giving birth and they're like, "Do you want to see?"
No, honestly, or like it's giving like when they turn you around in the barber's chair or whatever, and they're like, "Here, how's the back of your head look?" Like, what do you mean incorporating? Like, are we just talking about like having like? But then like my also question to that is too then in its current state, is your room just like mirrorless on
I
purpose?
don't know.
Or like, because I would imagine most people have like a standing mirror.
Yeah, for like outfits and like fit checks.
Like, is this like we're about to have sex? Like, honey, go get the sex mirror. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but this is the other thing about all of Bethany's content that's so confusing to me, is that a lot of it seems very like manualized.
Yeah.
Where like there's nothing wrong with scheduling sex, to be super clear. I think it's a really valuable tool for a lot of people.
I think we've learned the importance of that over these last.
Yeah, no
Can't
kidding.
speak.
But I think the way that she speaks about it conveys this attitude that it's like a chore.
Well,
and it's like this thing that there's like concrete, very unsexy steps to get ready
like
for.
Thursday is mirror sex night. You know what I'm saying?
But also like let's make sure the kids are occupied, and then I'll go grab the mirror and drag that in here. And it's just like very clunky to me.
It is
you know?
clunky. That is exactly what I was thinking of the whole time. Just like clunky. Hit me with 33. What's 33? Let's get into this because it's heating up in here now.
What is your favorite place for me to stroke you? That's a real question that she put on this question.
Well, I mean, obviously it would be the penis, but like, I mean,
but I just,
that is verbatim the question. Where is?
Would you like to read? Also, I got the numbers wrong, but this one is 33.
Where would you? Also, how many pages is this?
Like a lot.
Oh, so it could be 22 pages. I feel like that's a short story.
Pages.
It's an short story.
Well, but there's 5 questions per page. To be fair, so.
Where is your favorite place you'd like to be stroked?
I feel like genitals is like the obvious answer to that.
I feel like it just
not
is.
that there's not other places that would make sense to be stroked.
Like if you're just sitting here doing my arm, like.
And there's something to be said for like
inner thighs,
incorporating senses and stuff, right?
Course.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I just am sort of weirded out by like first of all the verbiage there, and second of all that this is like a question that we felt the need to incorporate. You know?
Also, this one is a sad one.
What? Oh, read it. I want to know.
Okay, we're gonna take it back down.
Oh no.
Do you feel loved by me on a daily basis? If not, why not?
That is so sad.
That is a sad. I also was thinking
of course I feel loved by you on a daily basis.
Same. We should do some. I was thinking we should do some role playing where we pretend to be a funny couple who secretly hates each other, but outwardly.
I feel like we could be really good at that, which I don't know what that says about
I know.
us. But I feel like we could.
Yeah, of course I feel loved by you on a daily basis.
Yeah,
I feel like between
too.
like just like generally like how we communicate and look out for. Also,
it's like the little things.
I think it's that thing too where we've been together for so long. Like,
yes.
You want to talk about anticipating needs, like so much so that it's
like a little
spooky
of
a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay,
you read me a question.
Okay.
Now.
Do you like being in control or being controlled in the bedroom?
Both.
I feel like that's the same too.
Yeah.
Very switchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder.
But also, okay, can we talk about how odd that is for a questionnaire about fundy couples in theory? Because the whole paradigm is that men are supposed to be in control. So is it allowed for a man to say that he wants to be submissive in bed?
Like, is it allowed if it's in the context or like the confines of your own home?
Well, I don't know, because this is the thing that really irritates me about their content shift. I guess just Bethy's content shift is that she has spoken really definitively and aggressively about things that are like ungodly in regards to sex and modesty and the whole thing, right? Except that now it really seems like she's discovered that having sex with the like, same position, same like nothing adventurous or interesting or new is like not really doing it for her. And so like boring. Now we're having conversations about God honoring prostate milking and like how that's totally fine.
You keep saying that. That's I don't. You don't need to show me, but like that's those words were all.
She didn't use the word milking, to be fair, but still, it's really fucking weird. She talks a lot actually about anal play. I
think, did we just discover butt stuff?
I think so.
It's giving
I think so. But this is what I'm saying, though, that like these people talk about how homosexuality is an abomination.
Oh my God.
Because, that's not how it was meant to be.
Penis
and like blah, blah,
bad.
blah. Very much they like, well, if God wanted something in there, you would, like the, how they justify like not having pierced ears. That like if God wanted a hole in you, he would have put one there kind of a thing. Yeah. But like, it's okay if your wife puts a fake dick in your ass. But it's not okay if a dude has a consenting relationship with another dude who wants to put his dick in his ass. That's sinful and bad. But Bethy is allowed to peg her husband, and that's fine. Yeah. See, but I think this is the thing though that like is confusing and like hypocritical is that like they are fine to excuse this for themselves, but for other people, again, who are like consenting and being responsible and safe adults, that's like sinful and bad. Hello?
It's giving soaking. Like how?
Oh my God, it is.
Like
it is. This isn't not allowed.
As long as you're not thrusting, then that's godly.
It's technically not sex.
God would want you to be perfectly still.
It is giving soaking. Yeah, that's weird.
How did your upbringing shape your perspective on sex?
That's actually a good question.
I feel like that's actually a fantastic question because I think there's a lot of
credit here. Yeah,
because I think you and me both grew up in vastly different. And I think too, just being you obviously being assigned female at birth.
Yeah.
And like your upbringing and related to that. Yes. And like your role.
Yeah.
In that. How do you think?
You're supposed to answer the question for you, sir.
Well, I know, but we're both going to answer it.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, I mean, like mine's pretty, my parents were a lot of things, but they were pretty sex positive. Like, but also in the way, not even though, but more so in the way that we didn't talk about it. And like, thankfully I was just resourceful enough and curious enough to realize and anxious enough to realize I didn't want to be a teenage high school daddy.
Also, can we talk about that show that you watched when you were a kid?
Oh, Dr. Ruth. Yeah. God bless that woman. I think she just passed recently. I learned so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time we started playing with toys and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I'm already in. I'm so familiar with this. I think I probably knew about vibrators before you did.
Yes. I think you knew what a clitoris was before I did.
I would never say I'm like addicted to sex, but I have like been curious about sex.
You're a very sexual person. You're not an addict. Yeah.
No, that's what I just said. But like, I was probably watching that when I was like single digit years old.
Yeah.
I remember she was on cable.
That show's not like lewd though. It was like very educational.
Very informative. Yeah.
Yeah, which I feel like I missed a lot of because I
wonder if they're
growing up was like first of all Catholic and like religious. So there was a lot of
shame.
Mm-hmm, yeah, but also like a lot of the like, not causing your brothers in Christ to stumble thing,
oh my God.
Which was also difficult because I had giant boobies and like just, I attracted a lot of attention at that age. And so I felt very ashamed of my body and like confused about it. So before I even had the opportunity to develop or like be aware of my own sexuality, I feel like I sort of came into that conversation knowing that this was wrong and bad. Yeah. And so I had to like unlearn all of that, which actually I think we did a lot of that unlearning together, like in real time. But I don't know that you knew that I was doing it.
No, I don't think so. Not at all.
I didn't really know. Well, not that.
Not so much now, I guess. But
I don't think that I was like aware that that's what I was doing.
Totally.
Like that. I don't know if we want to keep this in. That period of time where we were like really sending it with like interesting and like
we were doing lots of creative learning.
Yeah, we discovered like certain parts of the internet and just like ran off the edge of a cliff.
And I think that's developmentally appropriate. I think.
No,
and
it is.
I think to some degree that's what's going on here.
Yeah. But we did it in private.
Thank goodness.
And like talk to each other about it and not like the internet.
God, what a time.
What a time.
College.
What a time.
Wow, this conversation's like really, woo, punk. You got me.
Are you going to make the heating up joke every time?
Woo, call me Sean Paul.
What's under there? What's under there?
Nothing is
what
under
did you
here.
get? What did you get? What is that? Why you refuse to unbutton your vest? What is it? What is it?
Also, I do feel like a boner with my vest.
I hate you.
Just keep going.
Sam
It's just
Riegel,
hot.
what the fuck
just
is
hot
wrong
in
with
here.
you? What is wrong with you?
It's just warm. I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Why? Why?
Oh, is it looking at you?
Why do you hate me?
It's just a shirt. Also, can we talk about...
I would
we
like
need to
to go
address-
die now. Thank you.
Welcome to Disneyland. Someday you'll be so famous people will put your...
Disneyland?
I don't know. Don't you put Mickey Mouse on the...
Oh my God, no.
Also, can we just talk about Canva's? This is a large.
Yeah.
And it's built like this. Like, I don't know why it's flared out, but then the
I
arms
told
are
you.
teeny tiny.
Yes.
So, like...
Oh, did you get a woman's cut shirt, I wonder?
Oh. Did I? I probably did because I just
I
used
always
on your
order
account.
the unisex ones because I hate the way they cut
Being
women's
sneaky
shirts.
around you is so hard. It's so hard.
You want to know why? You want to know why?
Yeah, why?
Because you hate getting email about anything. So my email address is attached to every single joint account that we have.
The part that got me,
What?
I went through and I deleted those emails. I went into your email and deleted them because I know, like, oh, and I put them.
What?
If you check your sponsors, your sponsor, you know, the sponsored tab.
Yeah.
In
the
Gmail.
sponsorships tab in Gmail.
Or the advertisements, whatever.
Yeah.
I put them in there because I was like, oh, this motherfucker I know is not going to look in here. And so I deleted them. But my stupid big brain forgot that they would
It's
send a
shipping
following up
notification.
email when it got shipped. And then, of course, the box showed up and you wouldn't leave me be. So I had to hide the box. And I almost forgot about the box.
for my birthday.
No. Kinda. No, I just thought it would be funny.
Because I got the notification that something got shipped from Canva. And I was like,
I didn't
what
order.
the fuck?
Yeah,
'Cause-
so Mickey's texting me like, oh, did someone steal our card information? I'm like...
Because for those of you who don't know, we like test all of our merch on Canva basically because you can order like one of something. And so before I like commit to something, I want to see what the design looks like. I usually order something there. And I was like, we don't have any merch in development right now. Like, what are you doing? Like,
when you say R&D... Like, it sounds so official.
No,
we have merch. We do have merch in R&D right now.
I said in development.
I know,
Thank
but
you.
I just put them together. I love it.
Anyways, you're such a troll, and I hate you. When
Take it back. Take it back.
I don't hate you, but when did this?
I just thought. I know. I thought.
Where did you even get that photo?
Oh, Pumpkin, we got hundreds of photos of you. Are you kidding me? I have thousands
That's
about
fair.
if either one of us ever pass,
We have
like we
lots
could
of
fill up a
memorial
whole
photos.
year.
That's true.
Almost. And us just
The
like
slideshow. Okay, promise me, please hear it now.
Is this what we were
Promise me that if I die before you do, and they do the photo thing at my funeral, that you make the slideshow just unbearably long.
Oh yeah,
Embarrassingly uncomfortably
another
long.
Remember our marching band senior year reference? And they just kept playing the same Green Day song over and over and over and over.
Please do that.
It wasn't Waking Up When
Except-
September Ends. What was it?
It was it was one of the older ones, like
It's one of the sad, slower ones, like very sentimental,
yeah.
whatever. It was fine. It was sweet. It was cute the first time, but not the 17th time because that slideshow went on and on and on.
It did. Can you please play Tarzan Boy at my funeral?
Oh, over and over and over. Whoa. I'll probably get copyrighted for that one.
Every time we go
I love
on
Tarzan
a road
Boy.
trip with anybody that's not just you and me, I have a playlist on my phone
know,
that's
and we-
just Tarzan Boy over and over
we just see how many times we can get away with it.
Again.
Your
And
parents was funny.
It's my favorite practical joke because the song's already really long.
Oh, it's like, well, and then you just hear the same bird screech like 75 times.
And so it goes together so easily when you loop it.
Oh, you never know.
Like at first you're like,
Did it just keep...
is it looping or is this? Because this song's really long.
Oh.
So like, and it's just the best. Do you believe sex is beautiful and God honoring within marriage? Explain.
Well, I think to have good sex, it probably shouldn't be God honoring, honestly. Like, I think like the best sex is probably stuff that you like walk away from and you're like, did we just do that? Like, I feel like every time we've had that experience, you're like, oh yeah, like you're like, fuck, I need a shower after that. Or
My
like,
least favorite is like when you're embarrassed by the things that you've said.
oh, most definitely.
afterwards. You're
Most
like,
definitely.
oh man.
Like, damn, like
if like me of sound mind would never have said that.
like
out
if you said that
loud.
in a normal voice or like in a
Yes.
normal way, or like. I can
So
think of so I feel like
awkward.
the best things. Yeah, I feel like the best sex would probably be God, or God. Maybe God would be really hyped about it.
That's fair. I think Bethy thinks that God would be really hyped about.
God might not be a prude. God could be a fucking hedonist
Well,
for all we know.
I mean, I think, yeah, sure.
Thank
I was
you.
going to say something controversial, but I'm not going to.
Oh, can we do it?
No.
This is the place for controversial opinions.
God doesn't exist, so who cares?
yeah.
We can't put that in the pod.
Do you think do we figure ourselves agnostic, or I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like the amount of time I spend thinking about like a deity or a being or something is probably zero.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a lot, and I was going to be really surprised
No,
by
it's not my Roman Empire, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't think about like, also, could we just talk about how, I said this before, but how tiring and exhausting that must be.
Thinking about God all the time?
Yeah, like when we're banging, I want to be thinking about God.
Literally.
Or like fucking my whoever else watching us. Like,
also, as a child, that freaked me the fuck out.
And I feel
the
like
idea
that's
that God
why.
was watching you all the time. Because I was like, God's watching me like learn how to masturbate. Like, that's a turnoff. I don't want to do that then. Never mind. It was really awkward and uncomfortable, and especially the Catholics love to do this too. That your parent or your family, your grandparents, and your great aunts, and all these people, they're all watching you.
Oh,
they're your guardian angels, and they're with you always. But it starts as a nice thing, and then it turns into, well, great Aunt Marge can see you when you're sinning.
It's giving like Mulan when all the ancestors are like, they're at
weird.
the end, like they're
it's uncomfortable
but also
and creepy. Please stop doing that to your kids.
What a bunch of little perverts.
Yes.
That like the insinuation that people are watching. Like,
well, and why are you watching a teenager learn about flicking the bean?
This isn't Elf on the Shelf.
Why are you leaving them alone? Also, can we talk about what a terror Elf on the Shelf is?
I didn't know what Elf on the Shelf was until like the last couple of years. I had
Really?
I had never heard of that before.
It's been such a thing. But people are really mean to their kids about it sometimes.
It's like,
their kids will like cry and like scream about how scared they are that this fucking elf is moving around.
Because like the parents move it, or like they're supposed to move it, or like.
So yeah, the thing is that Elf on the Shelf is supposed to be a vehicle. A lot of people use it as a vehicle to get their kids to behave. Santa's not going to bring you a present if you quit. Yeah. Which fundamentally disagree with that also, but it's sort of an extension of that where every day the elf is like doing something, and you as the parent are supposed to like stage it, right? So it started out really normal where like the elf would just be like sitting on the mantle one day and leave like a little note for the kids that was like, you were so well behaved yesterday or whatever, right? I don't know what the fuck the elf does, but in between days when the kids go to sleep, the parents will move the elf and set it up as though the elf is like, it comes alive like a Toy Story thing. But it's become increasingly over the top as the years have gone by. So there are people
Wasn't
who
it like a bloody one? Or like, didn't we see a TikTok?
Probably. But people will stage like little chocolate footprints on the ground and like as if the elf like ran all the way upstairs. And it freaks kids the fuck out.
Want that.
Because especially if the kids have like a bad day or whatever, like throwing tantrums and stuff, then parents will like make it as though the elf is like, and don't you be naughty, like you gotta behave for your parents. It's really creepy.
Like
it's very like surveillance. I don't like it.
For a second there, looked down and I thought your mic wasn't plugged in because I didn't see anything going on.
I was wondering why you didn't respond to it.
You know, like when you're driving down the street and you see a bike cop and your heart goes
pitter patter, pitter patter. Yeah, I know how that is. But
the Elf on the Shelf thing, it's
really creepy and weird.
It's just like another extension of like, also, oh my God, when we were watching Married at First Sight and the guy was like, I think it's a good foundation for kids to grow up in the church.
Ew.
Meanwhile, the worst fucking couple on the whole show was
the ones that are hyper-religious. Yeah, because he was using religion to manipulate her.
And I was like, if that was me, I'd be like, this is exactly why we're not doing that. And like, this is like another extension of that too. It's like, why do you need so many? I just feel like, how can you not have like different forms of like OCD and anxiety and like different like hyper
arousal, hyper vigilance,
or like when you become so fixated on something that like it like consumes you. It is,
because that's the teaching, is that like you can't be trusted to be a good person of your own accord, which is also like an inherently shaming belief about your value as a person, that you're like broken and gross inside.
I also wonder if there's a correlation, because we always say hate ages you in the worst fucking way.
It does. It eats you
and
from
like
the inside
look
out.
at
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that was actually exactly the person I was gonna say. I would love for us to do that game where we both get to a word. But no, honestly, like especially like Republicans generally or things like that, and like the heavy
like far-right
Christian
conservatives,
like no fucking wonder, because if they do ever discover anything about their personality, they're so shamed. And
they feel too ashamed and like surveilled, apparently.
And just constantly,
because I think that's the other thing that's really irritating about like Bethy's content shift with this too, is that it really does come across as like trying to justify her own wants and needs through this religious lens, as if to say like, oh, it's not that I, Bethany, want to, wants to use sex toys. It's that God thinks this is honoring for my marriage, and so therefore I should explore
God said I did actually need a dildo to help me get off.
You feel so ashamed of yourself and your own intrinsic desires that you try to do this mental gymnastics to justify being allowed to do the things that you want to do. Whereas like having a very shame resilient sense of inner self just allows you to say, this is a thing that I want to explore. And then you can just have conscientious and respectful conversations with your partner or partners about like, are you into this? Are you not into this? Maybe we should try this. Like, let's experiment and see how that goes.
I feel like every time you've come to me with something too, or you're like, oh, hey, like I'm bisexual.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, hey, I think I'm non-binary. I was like, okay.
You're pretty unflappable, honestly.
I am, except when it comes to car washes. I will be flapped all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will be like
identity
those.
stuff, don't care. But like traffic, car washes, that people building chain restaurants in Tucson.
Never be on a dating show or whatever, because like if they had to do the car shots or whatever,
God.
I'd be like, not fucking now, not fucking right now. I am
Leave me
cool
the
as a
fuck
cucumber with so
alone.
many things, like things at work, shit hitting the fan.
Yeah.
That's really annoying. I hate my job.
You're like,
but it's
whatever.
fine.
Yeah.
Me having to take more than like, I only have to drive like 5 minutes to work too. Like driving over here is
You
like
have a hard
20.
time with traffic. It frustrates you a lot.
But like if I go, like if we know we're going to LA or something, or like California or Phoenix or what, even
Sure.
Phoenix. I think Phoenix is almost
like
worth
road trips.
If I have to like,
because you're like, we're in
then
this
I
for
can
the
do
long
it.
haul.
I can do it. But like if it's sudden and I'm not ready for it.
Meltdown. I think it's an ADHD thing because I do this a lot with my own drives. I have to consciously remind myself that like you're not in a rush.
I know, me too. Like
I
it's so
tell
hard to turn it
myself
off.
all the time, like you're
Yes.
not late for anything, Mickey.
I leave
It's
so early.
okay.
Like I'll never. Yes.
And then I get angry at people who like drive slow, and I'm like, why are you mad? Like you
No.
don't need to go anywhere right now. Like calm down, Mickey.
I will say this time of year, the snowbirds definitely.
That's fair. People who have multiple houses and then inhabit our state for the winter.
But then get mad at us.
Yeah.
For like
For
and
driving with the
rude-
flow of
yeah,
traffic
I
in the
can't-
left lane.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Don't even get me
Let's
started.
not talk about it. Let's answer some more stupid questions.
Answer some more questions, please. Or well, I'm
Okay.
gonna answer some more.
Do you want to just grab the box of tissues?
No.
I cannot believe you Sam Regaled me.
Did I do good?
You did. I'm so shocked and horrified, actually.
It's such a cute picture. I love you.
You're such a dick. As soon as you made the like it's hot in here joke for the third time, I was like, why would you let
Did I
this
lay it
joke
on too
go?
thick? I laid
well,
it on
and
too
then you
thick.
started unbuttoning the thing, and then I remembered the thing about Canva, and I was like, oh no. I knew what was. I was like, "There's something under there." I didn't know it was my face. I thought it was like. I thought it was going to be something silly. I thought it was going to be Mr. Worldwide. Honestly,
these buttons are so hard to. Why do I not have a shirt with Mr. Worldwide's? You know what,
I don't
guys?
know.
Put in the comments. Who do you want me to wear? Like, I'll wear. If you guys show me
is
something,
this
I'll
going to
wear
be your
anything.
new wardrobe?
I will literally
Our
wear
Discord
anything.
will absolutely flame you.
Okay.
Don't tempt them because they'll put some weird ass shit on a shirt.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, Discord.
Oh no.
Not anything like overtly, like I'm not coming out tits out, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing
But like,
offensive, obviously.
but you know,
I think you guys
let's
would
have
do
a
that
little,
anyways, but
let's have some fun with this.
okay.
This is your show as much as this is ours.
Anyways, are you ready for me to ask you this question?
Yes.
Okay, I think this is a really interesting one, and I know why she included this.
Oh.
This is not her original idea, to be clear. But the question,
I doubt most of these are.
the question is, what do you think about hotel dates? And then in parentheses, going to a hotel to have sex.
Well, my immediate thought is, as people who have to or who date and often have to use other, like, okay, so like I have like several different things that came to mind. Like
That's
so
why I
I'm
wanted
like,
to ask you
is
this question.
Are we like role playing Skeezy Hotel? Like, are we doing like that
The
kind of
seedy
thing?
motel thing?
Oh yeah, totally. Motel 8 or whatever the fuck, or like, but then also it's giving like we need to get away from the kids to have the sex we want to have.
Yes.
I
think that's what it
So
is.
it's also giving that. But also a hotel date.
Mm-hmm.
I never like, but also like we have never not been able to have sex in our own home.
Yes. But also, I won't lie. Can I
Tell
talk
me.
about Sybaris?
Oh, that was the best. The best. Records were made. Records were made that
don't
weekend.
be graphic, but Sybaris is it's like a Midwest thing. It's,
God, I wish they had them on the West
I did
Coast.
too. It's marketed as like an old mom and dad getting away from the kids for the weekend.
but it's so
thing.
much more than
But
that.
I'm telling you right now, like first of all, it's the hotel. The whole premise is that it's like a sex hotel. There's like a sex swing in it, and like all of this stuff. You have like a pool in your own room,
and a hot tub and jacuzzi, and we had a steam room.
Yeah.
One of them has a slide, and we had a rain waterfall thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like
we didn't get the one with
camp.
the slide because it's crazy expensive.
It's so perfectly camp.
It is really
It was
camp,
the best,
actually.
One of my favorite trips we've ever been on.
And everybody asked me when we went, they were like, was it dirty? Like, was it gross?
No, it was
Because I was like fully prepped to be like,
No.
we maybe won't touch some of the things in here, but it was surprisingly clean.
Truly, Sybaris has the cleanest facilities.
At least the one that we went to.
Okay, the one that
There's
we
lots
went
of them.
to, we stayed one time for 3 nights, 4.
3 nights.
Also, they have like
trip.
a 4-hour in between cleaning window. But I mean, like that is easily the cleanest
clean the
hotel
fuck out of that hotel room.
I have ever. And
They literally told us, like, you can't be in the room from this time to this time because our cleaning crew has to come in here and, like, clean everything. And they also had very specific rules about what's allowed in the pool and what's
Of course,
not,
fair, understandably.
Which makes total sense.
But like truly, like I cannot express like how wonderful, like because it was in Chicago, and it was freezing. It was like,
outside.
It was like 10 degrees, 5 degrees.
Literally, it's
we just
freezing.
got off the plane, and so we just have our like light single layer jacket.
Because we're from fucking Arizona and we're
we
idiots.
are dying.
Yeah.
And we get inside to this cabin, and it's like 75
It's
degrees
so
in there.
warm.
There's a hot tub. It's a little humid.
We ordered Chicago deep dish pizza,
Oh my
and we had
God.
wine out of plastic cups, and it was
the
so
best
fun.
and it was cold. I felt like we were like the little
we're
Harry
just,
Potter
like,
kids in our little cabin,
just like huddled up in our
and with
little.
a lot more sex. Yeah,
That too, yeah.
But yeah, sorry, but yeah, seriously. So like hotel date, like I get that.
I was gonna say, so I kind of get it. I
Okay.
think we're not really that way in the sense that like we can have sex in our own house, however,
Totally.
whenever we want to, because we don't have kids. And so like I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea,
No.
but I do find it interesting that this is like a thing because. So, like I said, Bethy didn't make this up. Francie Winslow has she's another like fundy content creator who has a podcast all about sex and relationships and whatever. And this was her idea that like, if you are finding yourself having a hard time, like winding down enough to want to be intimate with your spouse, plan these hotel dates because then you're like out of your house. So you're not thinking about like waking
the
up
house
your
isn't
kids
like a fun, sexy.
or like, you know, oh, we have to run the dishwasher or like all of
Yeah.
this stuff. It's sort of like a little mini vacation. Is her advice.
I kind of, and I'm glad you said the thing about Sybaris because I think I would have been a little bit more judgmental at it on the
Same.
offset.
Same.
But honestly, after you say that, like there's some
I
some
kinda get
validity
it.
there.
I
think
get
for
it.
Sure.
I think also like we don't have kids, but we do have pets.
I know.
And so like with pet hair everywhere, and
Totally.
also like when the pets whine because they want in the room or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm a firm like no pets in the room when we're fucking.
Same.
I don't like it. I think it's also because all of our pets, all 4 of them, have eyes like they're humans. There's a person in there. Like you cannot change my mind.
It's the ancestors. We're locking our ancestors
There's
out.
a person
Yeah.
inside of. They're human beings. I swear to God, they understand us.
It makes me
when
uncomfortable thinking about it sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, they're at home by themselves now. We need to go.
I know.
We can't be
do-
working.
Why do you think I'm such a homebody?
We regularly have to tell the dogs, like, sorry, we have to leave because if you like living in this house, we have to go make money.
Yes.
Sorry, capitalism.
But also as if we're not home with them like 24/7.
you are definitely home with them 24/7.
But no, like I swear to God, they
Yeah.
understand us. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, can you just scooch over just a little bit so I could sit there?" And then they'll
no, honestly,
like they know what we're saying.
They know English way too well
They
and some
understand
Spanish.
English. Yeah, and some Spanish.
And some Spanish.
But so like I'm a firm like no pets in the room during
course.
sex because I just like you know too much and
like-
I can't have you looking at me.
Yeah,
it makes
it's
me
like the
uncomfy.
baby carriage. I hear people have conversations about that, or like you
with
know,
the
like,
baby in the room. And
Yeah.
I get like I don't have a kid, so it's none of my business. I
Totally.
get that that's not my lane.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could distance
I
myself
don't think
enough.
I could either. Also,
Yeah.
I just be hype. Like even when we just have like when one of the pets are sick or something, or like
Yes.
recovering, it's like it's
Yeah.
all.
Are they okay?
Yes.
Yeah. This is also another reason that we decided not to have kids because I am like so stressed about safe
Oh.
sleep practices that I would be like, are they choking? Are they
You wouldn't
dying?
sleep for months.
No, I would never be able to fucking leave them alone.
What do you think about leaving hickeys on each other?
Ew.
Yeah,
I know that some people like it and that's fine.
Okay.
But first of all, as a person who has to be on the internet, it's really embarrassing.
Can you imagine walking in here and then can you imagine being like, oh, that wasn't from Aaron?
Well, okay,
Which would be like
that's another
appropriate,
thing.
but like
that's
also inappropriate.
so like I have like a professional day job.
Yes.
I can't show up as a clinician and have a fucking hickey
Literally.
on my neck. Like that's
Yes.
embarrassing. Second of all, as a person who is polyamorous and does have sex with other people, I would feel really weird about like wearing the evidence of my intimacy with someone else while trying to be intimate with you.
Okay.
I feel like I would be thinking
Yeah.
about it constantly.
Totally.
I just because being grounded in my body during sex is already like enough of an issue that I have. A, I
Yes.
have ADHD. B, I'm like traumatized to the Dickens. And C,
Yeah.
like the patriarchy, like the AFAB thing of like sex is performative thing.
Yes.
So I've got enough cards stacked against me.
You don't need to
I don't
add
need
another-
anything else.
You don't need to add another one to the-
add to the pile of like you're not focused on being grounded in
Yeah.
your body right now. So
I
it's just not for me.
I just never really felt the like.
I don't get
maybe
it.
we're missing something. I think it feels like like the marking thing, like marking your territory.
I
thing a
think
little
that's
bit.
also
Like,
part
just
of
me
what
personally, like
gives me the
if I
ick.
see someone with a hickey, I'm like, nice. You know, like I'm not like, I don't like have an adverse reaction to it.
No,
I
yeah,
just
it's
kind
sort
of
of
like, I'm
funny.
like, oh, not for me, you know.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I think that is also part of it too, is that the people, at least in my experience, who usually gravitate towards wanting to leave them are like small-minded men, you know? Like, and
Yeah.
also I've noticed it again,
the
this
ownership,
is
like,
this is
yeah.
in my experience,
Tell
but
me.
the people who have wanted to leave hickeys on me or find them to be like a turn on or whatever, when I'm like, not really my thing, like I don't really like that. It's this conversation of like, well, why not? Why won't you let me?
If
Like,
someone
come
tells
on,
you they don't
come
like something,
on,
just
come
drop
on.
it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think I just have like a negative association with it too, because it's like, I'm not an object. Like, I'm not a thing. Like, quit trying to piss on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I understand that was such a great time.
But also, because I was just thinking about, never mind, I'll tell you
Yeah,
after.
I already know.
But-
I'm sure I already know because we're connected
I'm
at
not
the
into
brain.
piss stuff, to be clear. Not that there's anything wrong with
No,
that,
there's
but just
nothing wrong with it.
I
It's
want to be
not-
super clear. That's not my thing.
Also, the amount of prep work that goes into.
But I meant as like a dog pissing on like a
I
fire
get what
hydrant.
you meant.
You know,
But just like in this general
I thought
theme
about it after I
of
said
this
it.
episode.
And I was like, oh, now the whole internet's gonna think I'm
that
into
back,
piss
and we're
stuff.
leaving that in. I'm gonna tell you. You know, some of these like aren't the worst though.
I know some of them are really not that bad.
Do you think we should see a sex therapist? Why or why not?
I mean, I would say no.
No, I don't think we need to. But I just
Yeah.
mean like generally like.
No, yeah, it's not the worst question.
Where would you like to see our sex life in 5 years? Like that's an interesting. I don't really know what that
That
means.
feels like a job interview question.
Yeah.
Answer that question for me. Where do you want to see our sex life
Hopefully
in 5 years?
banging. Hopefully like this still.
That's it? Oh, okay. Just this.
Yeah.
the
No,
same?
I mean like yeah. I don't really know.
I don't know that I have a 5-year plan for a sex life.
Also, I don't know if this is that thing too. What's way we can continue learning about each other? Like this is like inherently unproblematic.
Sure, yeah.
What does true and lasting love mean to you?
That's an interesting question.
Would you like to make love with me right now?
Why? What?
That's a question.
No, I know. Why? I think she put that
That's
on
the
the
last
other one.
That's the last one. Can you
course
imagine
it
getting
is.
through all of this in a night?
No.
Oh, what makes you blush in the bedroom?
I feel like I blush about everything, actually.
How does polarity play a role in the bedroom?
Polarity. What's that?
Polarity.
Is that a fundy thing? Will you Google that? Polarity. Yeah, that's the complementarianism thing.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, the thing that like men and women aren't equal. They're different. And it's good that we're different. Ew. It's like
Ew.
a rejection of feminism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What would it look like to get more mentorship individually so that we can bring What would it look like to get more mentorship individually so that we can bring a better person to bed?
That sounds like she's asking something else.
Is that
Wait, hold on. Can we just talk about how absurd it would be to hire a mentor to help us find a third person to bring into the bedroom? Because that's what it sounds like the question is. Like, how can we get mentorship about how to have group sex more?
so that we can be a better person bring a better person to bed?
I think she means like bring a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, I get that. I think that could have, it's a very long question, so I think we were probably running short on how we could have felt it.
But also, like, I just don't understand the, like, we need mentorship in order to have better sex. Like, just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Just talk to. What do you mean? There's not that there's anything wrong with mentorship or like
No.
having guidance or like
Or
safe
sex-
people like
sex
elders.
therapists,
Sure,
stuff like
yeah,
that. Of
yeah,
course, of
like
course.
actual professionals.
Yeah.
But the perspective really comes across as like our sex life is bad or like that most people's sex life is struggling.
Yeah.
And so we have to be doing the most. Like we're really excavating to try to make this better. And like, I think if your relationship has a solid foundation,
Yeah.
A, you have healthy communication and like a healthy sense of self, B,
Yes.
And also you guys are people who are interested in physical intimacy and sex,
Yes.
then having a conversation about how to improve that is
Yes.
really not going to be that difficult. Like we shouldn't need to seek that much mentorship
Yeah.
all the time to make this a workable conversation.
I think too, the thing for me too that I've learned too is like this like expectation that like the first time you have sex and stuff too is gonna be this like mind-blowing
Yes,
world
it's
ending
never
experience.
a thing. At least not for
and
me.
like I almost go into it with like the opposite expectation. I'm like,
gonna
I think
be,
more
like, mid as
realistic.
fuck.
Yeah, and like still learning and figuring out each other. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yeah.
I think there's like some healthy like
Yes.
like skepticism or like
Yes.
you just like
this is also the reason. Sorry, I interrupted
no,
you.
go ahead.
This is also the reason that I really dislike having relationships and sex with men besides you, because I personally find the first time that you have sex with a new person, it's just like you were saying, it's like clunky,
Well,
right?
it's
Like you
like
don't know each other
yeah.
well. Like you don't have that sort of unspoken communication. Like you and
course.
I can intuit what the other person wants and is enjoying.
Yes,
because
without having to be like, hey.
Yeah, we've been together for like over a decade, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're with someone new, you're like sort of like, ooh,
yeah.
You're like I don't know where to put my arm.
It feels like you're working like a crane and you're like.
It's just like you're trying to figure out like what everybody's comfortable with and like
it's giving the Willy Wonka
who
machine.
wants to go where
Yes.
and you're like asking these questions and stuff. And so like for me, I'm just a person who's always gonna like laugh at myself when I do something that's like silly or embarrassing or like when I make a noise that I'm like, you know, because like sex sometimes has weird funny noises.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just a giggler when things are like awkward and men are so fucking intimidated. And
I don't
like
understand because like,
they think you're laughing at them. I've had this happen so many times with like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like my belly just made a fart noise. What do you mean? What am I laughing at? Like, of course I'm laughing.
Also, nothing is that like it shouldn't be that serious. Like it should be that serious in that like you're respecting and boundaries are being respected and like, but like,
and it would be one thing if like you pull your dick out of your pants and you're flaccid and I'm like, right? Like
that would obviously be. I'd be like, and back in we go, and I will be walking myself out.
Exactly, like that's mean. That's awful. Like trying to ridicule someone. But like me just having a little giggle about the fact that like I put my arm somewhere awkward or like I accidentally put my foot in your face or something is like. Oops. So like I just think
like
it's
when
funny.
you're doing gymnastics, like shit happens.
But
you know?
like men get so uncomfortable and they get like hostile towards you.
And that's scary.
It's really scary when you're naked and someone is like, what are you laughing at? You're like, oh, never mind. I'm done. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah, no shit. Talk about drying up quicker than
this kind of gives that energy almost of like we can't have this sort of like calm, like silly, fun affect about learning about each other because that's like, you know, it's gonna interrupt the performance. You know,
I think that's the thing for me because, like, honestly, as I'm reading through some of these, like, a lot of these on the surface aren't that problematic. Like, honestly,
they're not problematic necessarily.
I know this might be like a hot take, but like these aren't. This isn't the worst thing ever. But also, again, this comes off as like so much dialogue around. Maybe like we're like around the issue again still.
Yes.
It's like what is the root cause of why are we like what is your favorite type of kissing or like what is your favorite spot for us to make out? Do we kiss enough? Do we hold hands enough? Like those are like totally do we touch throughout the day enough? Like what are your favorite dirty texts to get from me? But like
we don't
things
really
like
send each other dirty texts at all.
I think
I just don't like them.
I don't think
I'm
know
not
it's
good
the
at
thing.
it. I'm not imaginative
it gives playing guitar to serenade someone. For me, it just feels very performative too, in my opinion.
I don't like it.
And like, I mean, like flirty text, like dirty text, totally, but not like I want to.
When I get home, I want to
D
do
in your A and like fucking
it's just like
B to
really
the Z to the C. You know what I'm saying? No, and so I just think like that's more like where this is like difficult for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about this a while ago, actually, in regards to Paul and Morgan using sex games to facilitate difficult conversations, which is that like sex games and like the dice and the cards and all that are not bad, right? Like they can be fun tools. They're an interesting aspect of novelty, sure. But if you're using a tool like that or a questionnaire like this to facilitate a conversation that you want to have, but you just don't feel comfortable enough with your partner to be like, hey, I want you to touch me here.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, the other day you did something and I really liked it. Can you do it again? Or like, I saw this thing.
Yes.
So my girlfriend told me that her husband did this to her and I really want you to do this to me, but I'm too scared or uncomfortable to just be like, hey, then like we have a problem. At a fundamental level, we need to work on the communication rather than seeking out questionnaire after questionnaire after questionnaire. We should work on like being comfortable enough to just be like, hey, I want you to do this, right? Or like, we're not doing this enough, whatever it is.
And I think that's the part that gets me too with this is like also I'm assuming her audience is primarily like feminine. Yeah. For them it's probably like female focused.
Yeah, it's definitely like AFAB women. Yeah. Or like cis women, I mean.
Yeah. That's the term I was looking for. If you were bringing this to me, especially in this culture, my immediate thought I feel like would be like, oh, what am I doing wrong?
Yes.
How am I failing? How am I not providing? How am I not performing?
Circumvent saying you're doing something wrong or not doing something
enough.
enough.
Look at this crazy little also then like bringing up these questions organically would feel like so out of left field. Like if you weren't already having these conversations.
Yes.
I feel like, and I would say like the progression of that honestly isn't like I will say like not
some
to give her credit.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst, but
no,
like
that's valid.
I think just again we're like doing all the things instead of addressing the core issue. Yeah. Which is that this culture this viewpoint puts you in a position where like you can't just have this conversation in a
you can't advocate for yourself.
non-judgmental,
Yes.
a non like making it into a thing.
Yes. The other thing about it
Yes.
that sticks out to me, we talked about this in the male normative alexithymia video, which is that there is this ego aspect of telling men that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And in these very patriarchal cultures that uplift men's opinion as like the right one, there's a lot of like really sensitive, hurt feelings on behalf of men. And so I think for a lot of women in these cultures, there's a genuine fear about saying, I don't like that, right? Or like, I'm not coming, like you're not doing this or you're not doing enough of that or whatever.
I'm not enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's almost like a scary thing to say that you're doing it wrong because then your husband's going to get all like it sort of perpetuates this norm that like we don't hurt men's feelings.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong. This questionnaire is so interesting. I just thought maybe I can ask you, do you think
like
we touch
crazy
enough?
what if,
do you think you go down on me enough?
Yes.
And so it like really again is the thing where we're circling around the issue rather than addressing that this culture and the values within it uphold beliefs that negatively impact women overall and like uplift shitty and patriarchal and like sometimes abusive fucking men. I think that's the thing that like really gets me about it because you're not wrong, like some of these questions are really not the worst.
No, and I mean like in a like in the same way like the sex games and stuff too. Like this wouldn't be the horror, but I'm just not I would be curious how this would be implemented, like in reality, in real life.
I wonder about that too. Because like, are we just going to sit down over dinner and answer each one of these questions systematically? No. But also, is that meant to be arousing?
Like like Bethany right now.
This like a job interview.
I think your content could be more improved by like helping people how to use how to use your questionnaire. Because I think it's just like, but like it's the thing where like we're shotgunning everything.
Yes.
Like everything is a shotgun and we just hope something sticks.
Yes.
But like if she spent her time.
Yes.
Like going through like, okay, like because the primary issue, as we talked about before, is like the communication breakdown.
Yeah.
So like, how are you doing this to fix and repair? But we're not doing that. We're just like, also the thing you said they got on their podcast and they're like, we're changing our minds, but we're not sorry. Fuck you guys.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that like?
Yeah, if you think this is an apology, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So
it's
I'm like
weirdly
who
rude.
Are you? So like, you don't care enough about your audience then to like the people who would be buying this and taking this advice and like, so like.
Because they care about themselves.
So who is this? Is it for us to buy that? Like, you made probably what, us and. So, like,
I don't know,
how many other people bought this? Yeah.
Okay, but the other thing is that like with the shotgunning and the like sort of forcing it thing. The thing is that if we actually address the core of the issue, which is the communication breakdown.
Of course. Yes.
And we released a PDF that was like 5 really good questions, instead of like 100 fucking mediocre ones.
Yeah.
Then we're sort of tiptoeing into like direct one-on-one clinical practice, which she's not trained or allowed to do. The work that these couples need to be doing of like working on your communication stuff instead of shotgunning this 100-thing questionnaire is work that she can't do. She's not trained for that. She's not credentialed for that. I don't think she has a clue in the world about how to do that. And so this is, I think, the closest that she can get to like giving people
kind of like life coaching kind of. Yeah, we're like you're coaching and like because it's so broad.
Yes. But even then, like people who are like certified life coaches or people who have like a degree or training that's relevant to a particular area will sit down and have a one-on-one Zoom call with you.
True.
Right?
That is so true.
They talk to you about the nuance of your specific situation. They weigh out what your barriers are, your extenuating circumstances, and then you formulate kind of a plan together of like, here's the transformation that we want to see. These are the steps that we're going to use to get there. Along the way, we're going to evaluate progress and barriers and goals and things like that, right? It's like very similar to therapy, but just minus like the really deep emotional processing stuff. Yeah. She can't do that either. So I think that's why we like get PDF after PDF after PDF, because she's just like sitting in front of Chat GPT saying questions about sex, questions about intimacy,
honestly, I didn't even think about
and
that.
putting them on a PDF to try to make a quick buck. Because that's the other thing. I don't think she really cares about her fucking audience.
I know.
You can't convince me that these are actually designed to be transformative questions, because they're not like problematic necessarily.
No, we're like milkworm. Or lukewarm.
Yeah. But they're certainly not like transformative, right? Yeah. Asking, especially in this culture of asking like a very egotistical, patriarchal, resistant to change man.
I'm like thinking if you asked
do you think that we, I don't know, hold hands enough? And he's happy with the way that things are. He's going to say,
you're not.
Yes. Next question.
Yeah.
What purpose does that serve?
I can't imagine there not being
Nothing.
the follow-up, like, what do you think?
No, exactly. Or if she says, well, I don't think we are. Okay, well, I think we are. Next question. That's not going to go anywhere useful, I don't
No.
think. Very rarely anyways is it going to go anywhere useful.
I feel like this has been super enlightening.
I enjoyed this episode.
This is a great episode.
Yeah. This was fun. I think this was also a nice episode for us to do as our first episode back.
Yeah, thanks for listening again,
tired.
everyone. I know, me too. It's so funny. You like really do lose your stamina, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more taxing than you would think being on camera. But
anyways,
thank you guys for coming. Again, thank you guys for your patience while we were in transition. I know that you guys have been incredibly supportive and patient, and it means a lot.
We really appreciate it. Like, honestly, I can't. Again, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I guess with that, we will be back for another episode.
Well, right now we're gonna film one right now. Actually, another one.
Yeah. So we're just gonna change our clothes.
Thursday live stream. How has I have not ever. You have educated me so much on sister wives.
Oh my God. I went home and info dumped all over you.
I know. I had no idea.
As soon as you got home from work, I was like, babe.
How many seasons are there? Like 18 seasons?
We're on 18th season right now. It's so much.
The COVID shit and all that, like, that dude
wild.
sounds awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to watch more of that tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Actually, when this is going up, we'll be live streaming tomorrow, watching Sister Wives season 18.
I'll be at work.
So we are back to live streaming as far as
Fridays.
Yeah, on Fridays. So as long as there's no other extenuating circumstances with the healing, we're doing that every week.
I don't know if it's just me. Like, I get FOMO when I miss the streams.
Because they're fun.
They are so much fun.
I love them.
Same.
Yeah, shout out to our live stream and chat and everybody.
You guys make it so much
shows
fun.
up.
Thank you.
Our community is really cool.
My favorite.
Okay. We're going to go. Thank you guys for coming. We will see you next week.
Yep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the things because it does help. If you want to support us, that's like the best way that you can right now.
Thank you for listening.
So, all right. We love you the most and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Excellent.